So when I first started writing my piece, it was right before spring break. So it was super cold and I think everyone was super stressed about homework and everything that's been going on in the semester. So when I was beginning to write, I was like, okay, what can I write about? So I started writing about where I rather be instead of being in class and in the cold. So my intended audience was like my classmates and I think my instructors and all my other colleagues and everyone that was just like ready for spring break. So yeah, I was going to Florida for spring break and I just couldn't get it off my mind. So I started just thinking and daydreaming, I guess, about the beach. I think as a writer, it's super important when you start writing to identify like your intention or your purpose as well as your audience because it helps like guide your writing and it establishes like your voice and tone right off the bat. So doing all the writer's workshop and stuff, as a writer, I have learned about the importance of revising, well, the difference and importance between like revising and editing. So, before we like discussed it in class, I kind of thought of them as like being the same thing. So usually when I write, I realize I just kind of edit. So I just go through, maybe look for like grammar or punctuation, spelling, structural errors. But when we did like the revising workshop, I moved beyond just like surface level um basic like things. So when we revised, I was able to actually add more detail and make my sentences different, not always starting like I realized my sentences were very basic or they'd all kind of start the same. Um so when we did the activity with the anchor charts, my writing really changed and it actually like allowed me to make it interesting. So I ended up one of the suggestions I think on the charts was like a flashback. So I actually used that in my writing, which I think made my piece just so much more interesting, like having it go back. So then when I was in my like mentor class or my mentor class, my students they have morning journals, but like the kids always just sit there and they're like, we don't know what to write about, or I don't know what to say, I have nothing more to say. um I think my teacher like is really just trying to get them to write, so he has them do like free writes and just has them write kind of anything, but they don't really have direction. Like I know Don Marie gave us the piece of paper in the beginning that we glued in that just had like tons of ideas to like things to write about or get you to start thinking. um or even like decorating your notebook. If you had stickers and stuff on it, you could write about that, things like that. The kids don't have that. Or sometimes he might put up like a prompt, like, what'd you do over the weekend, or something like that, but they don't really seem engaged in it, and there's not really like a set time. It's just kind of like whenever he says they're done, so that's not really like structured, like how in class we have it. And then, like, as a teacher, I was thinking too, like, the kids don't ever go back and revise their work, so I feel like they don't think it necessarily has like a purpose. So, like, I think it's really cool in our class how we're doing this analogy project because it allows us to, like, know our writing has a purpose and it's going to be published. And, like, I don't know, I think the kids would benefit from that because I think in class they just know it's just like a free write. I don't know. So, that's just my opinion, and I actually really enjoyed doing this project.